Are all the 85 repatriated Nigerian scorn building collapse victims South African? Why does the Mkhulisi family doubt the identity of the body they were given? What form of identification would the Mkhulisi family have preferred? And what are the religious and cultural implications on the victims of this tragedy? What time is it? It's question time. Hello and welcome to the show. My name is Mpho Tsedu. Almost 5 months after the collapse of the Synagogue Church of All Nations in Lagos, Nigeria on 12 September 2014, the remaining 11 bodies from the tragedy were finally repatriated to the country a few weeks ago. However, the Mkhulisi family in Ekurhulene's Wattville Township is adamant that the body they received is not that of their daughter, Phumzile Mkhulisi. This has not only shifted focus on the reliability of the DNA test conducted in order to confirm the identity of these victims, but questions have also been raised on the cultural and religious implications over the long wait for these bodies to be brought home and be laid to rest. My guest on the line, Mr. Lwandle Mkhulisi, is the sister of the deceased and speaks on behalf of the Mkhulisi family. Reverend Mvambo from the National Interfaith Council of South Africa is my guest here in studio. Welcome. Let me welcome you for making the time, and thank you indeed for that. Let's start with Mr. Mkhulisi. Just give us a little background on the basis on which you are challenging the identity of, let me, for lack of a better word, use the body, the word body that you were presented with.
Oh yes. Thank you, Mpho. Firstly, when we were giving this body, we were giving a death certificate. And then on that death certificate, there's a space for thumbprints. In our case, there are no thumbprints. And by law, it's supposed to say, they must give a reason why there are no thumbprints.
Yes.
Okay? Then, fast track to a week ago. When these bodies arrived, we were told not to open the bag. Even at government mortuary, they refused us to view the body. So we had to move the body to a private mortuary where we were told we can then view the body there. But we couldn't view the body for, say, 2 days after it arrived. We went there on a Wednesday. On our way there, we received a call from a person who says he's from the Department of Health. He said we mustn't open the bag, we mustn't view the body, because the reason was that because these bodies are being infected with Ebola. He simply said that. He said that we must take this body to a crematorium and burn it. Yes.
Now, Mr. Mkhulisi, you say there was no thumbprint on the death certificate. Is the reason not perhaps that, like you have said, that you were given a body with basically no tissues?
Yes. The thing is that when we went there to view the body, you simply defined it. The guy who called us and said, no, we want to see what is inside. How can we bury somebody that we haven't seen? You see, when we view the body, there are three things that happened. Where my sister had a gap in her front hip. Yes. That one doesn't have a gap. And also, what is odd is that 2 days before the bodies arrived, we had a colonel from the forensic department. He came and asked us whether my sister had any distinguishable marks on her body, anything that we can recognize. And I said, no, you must speak to my mother. And then apparently he spoke to my mother. With that body, there's no skin, my brother. I'm sorry to say that, but there's no skin at all. No skin. There's nothing you can see that, okay, this person has a scar or a birthmark or nothing. The whole body.
You have also challenged the fact that the body has no broken bones. What had you expected?
I expected maybe a headless body or some of the limbs missing, or half of the body, or a mixed match, a minced meat, so to speak. But no, we found a full intact body.
Now, there's also the other point, which I guess has subsided now, that there was an SMS that the family received a day or so after the incident.
Yeah, yes, that's why it's so difficult for us. I don't know why all these things are happening to us.
Just tell us about that particular SMS.
Okay, the incident happened on a Friday, and then we received, actually, from the boyfriend, he received an SMS from her on a Saturday. And there was this, this banter between two intimate people, and then she even asked for airtime, and then he sent it also. You see? And then when 4 days later, a delegation from the church came to see us and to break this terrible news to us that he has passed on, we couldn't even accept it, you see.
Mm.
Yes.
Now, what is the way forward?
For now, like today, I was supposed to be there, by the way. I'm sorry I couldn't make it because we were stuck in this private mortuary. We went with this pathologist, a private one.
Yes.
To go and collect the samples for new DNA testing.
Yes.
Yes. Also, another thing, Paul, there was a report on one of the independent TV stations. According to this journalist, this doctor actually admitted that our family didn't have a match.
Mm.
And apparently it could be more than that. The number could be more than that.
So you are convinced that the body that you have is not that of your sister?
Actually, we're not convinced. We're trying to, by all means, to get an independent answer from somebody that we can trust. We're trying to solve this thing on our own also, you see. It's not that we are rushing to a decision that, no, this is not our... We should with what we were told on TV about this journalist. Because he said, that the person you saw is not your sister. This doctor admitted to her that this family did not have a match. They were struggling with our family to get a match.
So if you do not get a match, what happens?
If we do not get a match now with this new testing, so our only option is either simply approach the families and then explain to them our situation. But if we don't agree with them, we have to approach the court to try and settle the matter.
But do you understand the implications there, Mr. Mkhulisi, that you probably...
These are huge implications. It's a mess, my brother. It's a big mess. It's a big mess. This thing was not handled properly. This is what happens when there's no communication. You see, this is a big mess. I know, this is a big mess.
Was there no form of communication between you and government?
Both the government and the church, they were quiet, these people. Both, they didn't tell us anything. The church, I asked them, I said, no, you have a relationship with the Nigerian government. What are they saying to you? Why are you not telling us as families? They said, no, we don't know. All of them, when they come there, they say, we don't know. I told them, no, you've been instructed not to talk or to discuss any issues with families. I can see that. And the government didn't communicate anything with us, nothing at all. We had to go on the street, we had to go to DECO and confront them at DECO about this issue.
Yes.
Yes, we went there.
And perhaps finally, how is the family holding on? It should be quite a difficult period, I must say.
It's very serious, my brother. We are being overwhelmed by this whole grief and this whole drama. We don't need this whole drama. We don't need, like I'm saying to you, why is this thing happening to us?
Mm. When are you likely to get the DNA results?
He said if it's quicker, it's a week. Then if a bit delayed, it will be 14 days.
Okay.
14 working days, yes.
And you are paying this out of your own pocket?
Yes, that's what we did. That's what we did. We didn't ask for any funding. Even that thing of us going to Nigeria to perform this ritual, we didn't ask for any funding. All we wanted from the Department of Foreign Affairs was to give us a letter that we can take to the Nigerian embassy so that they can sort out with us with the visas.
Okay.
But they simply refused.
Mr. Mkhulisi, let me thank you very much for your time and indeed wish you the best during this trying and quite emotional times.
Before you hang up, please,
Yes.
I would like to appeal to other families, because there were families who didn't even check who's inside that bag. I spoke to one family yesterday, and he confirmed that they didn't check who's in that bag. They simply buried the bag. I asked him, how did you know it's your brother? He said, no, we touched the bag. We simply touched the bag. How's that?
Mr. Mkhulisi,
I'm appealing to them to come forward and help us with this thing. And also, this doctor, please try and get hold of him.
okay. We will indeed make follow-up, because it doesn't seem like it's a story that's going to die anytime soon. We're going to take a quick break for now. Please don't go away. We'll return shortly.
Zoom into Africa. This is Gabon. The president is Mr. Ali Ben Bongo. Gabon got independent from France on August 17 in 1960. The population is over 1 million people. One of the major languages spoken is French. Monetary unit is CFA.
Welcome back. You're still watching Question Time. My guest today, Tate Muruti Tami Mvambo from the National Interfaith Council of South Africa, NICSA. And we're now also joined by Meto Ogomkwanas Kaluva, chairperson of the Commission for the Promotion and Protection of the Rights of Cultural, Religious and Linguistic Communities. Welcome. Bamfundis, you heard what Mr. Mkhulisi said. From your structure, what becomes your view in as far as all this is concerned?
It has affected us also, because to us, death is something that is very sacred. And we understand the concern of the family. For them to find closure, they have a right to ultimately see who is inside that bag, who are they burying. Because you can't find closure in a situation where you are not sure whether you buried your own or a person who belongs to the family. So it is affecting us in a sense that there are religious rites that have to be performed and cultural rites that have to be performed. Now, when there is no closure and the family is not convinced that the person they are burying is the right person, it becomes a problem.
But here you are faced with a situation where not religion, but faith has been used on these victims, or rather on the families of the victims of the deceased, to say, believe what we're giving you. Like he said, some did not even bother to verify or whatever. They took the word as it was given to them. Right? Now, faith is being used to say, believe what we're giving you is rightfully yours. And yet you have this family that says, yes, faith, but we need verification here.
Yeah. I agree with the family. Verification is very important. Faith, people should not hide behind faith. Because in terms of faith, also, when you bury a wrong person, it has an effect, or it is going to affect the family in the long run. As Africans also, we have our own African beliefs about death, about how we relate with those that have passed on from this world. Now, when you are not convinced, it becomes a problem. Who are you burying? It's an issue. Because we believe in our own African belief system which of course from the Western perspective they might not understand. We relate to those who have passed on from this world. Now, when people have not found closure, it remains a problem. So people have a right to question any situation where they are not or they don't feel comfortable. And in this instance, they cannot find closure unless they are convinced that they are burying the right person.
Okay. Ma'am Kwanas Kaluva, you have this scenario here. What are the implications in as far as your institution is concerned?
Well, for us, the implications are their cultural and African religious rights. The rights of the departed person to be treated with dignity. The rights of the family to ensure that they have the right people, because it's an African religion kind of activity, but also it's a cultural dynamic. So if you don't have the right person, there are belief systems that will tell you a lot of negative things will happen in your life because you've buried the wrong person. And when it's time for you to ask that person to go back home with you, then you're taking a wrong person. And you're calling this person Mkwana's Shamase, and you're going all the way and you're taking Endlof. And that has its own consequences in terms of how your family lives with the stranger and what happens as you move forward. So in Africa, as Pastor has said, it's very difficult if you're burying a wrong person. But also constitutionally, people have a right to their cultural beliefs and their religious beliefs, and if they are being violated by you burying wrong people, for us it is an issue because we're a Chapter 9 institution and our responsibility is to look after the rights of cultural and religious organizations.
I wanted
and
to come
communities.
to that point that now, what does a family like the Mkhulisi, do they have any recourse from an institution like yours whilst they're still fighting this matter?
They have a right to complain to the Commission for Culture, Religion and Language to say they feel that their cultural and religious rights are being violated. And if they have proof that this is not the right person, then the right thing needs to be done in order to find a solution for the family to move forward.
Now, Nanamrut, this happens, like I said, the church is involved here. Can we not say to the Mkhulisi family, you know what, 83 families have buried theirs. Just go and bury and, you know, let the dead rest.
No. They have a right. They must insist on ensuring that they are burying the right person. As Umama has said, with Africans, there are also other issues beyond the question of just burying. It's not just a closure of saying, no, we've buried the person, it's fine. There are implications because in future, when people have to go and appeal to those who are not dead but sleeping, they will have a problem if they appeal to the wrong spirits.
Okay.
Now, they have to ensure that even the children of those who are dead or those who are asleep, when they want to relate to that person, they relate to the right person and the right spirits.
I want us to talk about another implication. Does this culture and religion and all the beliefs that you're talking about allow for exhumations? That's another thing, but we'll talk about that after the break. This question time, please don't go away.
You can't have a gut feeling about other people's gut feeling.
Ngaba has continued the tradition of passing stories onto the next generation using a platform that offers stories to a far more greater audience.
Sombi no go unless you tell them to go.
This is what the audiences all over the world knew Fela Kuti for.
Join Musam Khalipi on Afro Showbiz every Saturday at 19:30 CAT.
Welcome back. You're still watching Question Time. My guest, Bawumfundisi Tami Mvambu from the National Interfaith Council of South Africa, NICSA, and Metogo Mkhwanazi-Qaluva. She's the chairperson of the Commission for the Protection and Promotion and Protection, of the rights of cultural, religious, and linguistic communities. It's a Chapter 9 institution. You wanted to answer my questions, or rather, this question in particular, that since we are so much preoccupied with the protection of, the rights of the living and those that are dead, do these cultures and traditions that you're talking about allow for exhumation?
They do allow for exhumation under particular circumstances following certain procedures that are culturally defined. So you don't just exhume someone. You have to talk to the person and explain why this is happening, so that the spirit of the person understands that you're not doing anything negative. So they do allow. Okay. There are procedures to follow in order to make sure that you secure the space accordingly.
If the Mkhulisi's bid comes to prove that the body that they have is not that of their relative, it would have implications in that there's now a possibility of this mass exhumation. Now, you're talking about people who are Christians of a particular level, if I may call it, the charismatic ones, Bazalwane as they are called.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure if this is something that they would really believe in, that the spirits here and there that we have to talk to and all that.
My own understanding is that it also affects them. When you bury a wrong person, whether you believe in ancestral spirits or not,
yes,
how do you relate yourself? Because say for an example, you say, those who are dead, and we just bury and forget about them. I do not believe that even if we are charismatic or we believe in a particular form or doctrine, we will not want to find closure to that kind of situation where we are sure that we have buried the right person.
yes.
I think it will have implications on everybody. And if there's a possibility, I think everyone will want to verify whether the person that they buried was the right one.
Okay.
It is not, for example, it might not be in their case, the reason being we are talking about the spirits. But it will be a question of, have we buried the right person? Are we sure of the person that we buried that belongs to this family?
Okay. Now, what are the cultural implications of fiddling with a dead body?
I think there are several issues. Fiddling in terms of amputations, but we also know belief systems around organ donation and how generally African people
yes,
shy away from issues of organ donation due to the fiddling with a dead body. So there are belief systems. And fortunately, our constitution protects all belief systems, because there's always a disconnect and a disjuncture between different belief systems. As you say, other people belong to other churches. Maybe this particular family is coming from a different perspective, but their rights also need to be secured. And that's the beauty of our constitution. It allows for all of us to have our space. So for them, this is what they need. For the other families, maybe it's okay. It's okay, no matter whom they buried. Some of them may have done, whatever they needed to do. Some might have felt we don't need this kind of belief system in our homes.
Yes. But what would you advise as a Chapter 9 institution, given that there's this doubt that has been cast already?
As a Chapter 9 institution established to protect and promote the rights, cultural and religious rights, would say this family has a right to know precisely whether this is their person or not. Because way down the line, when the grandchildren have problems, we won't be there. This system might be here today saying just lie low, but later on in life, when they're struggling, and they feel the reason for their major struggle is based there, we would be tying up their great-grandchildren into a system that might not deliver. So as far as humanly possible, they need to have closure. Because maybe other families have cremated. You see, there are all those other issues that if other people have cremated the bodies, then it will be impossible to know. But where humanly possible, we need to always secure the cultural and religious rights of families.
There's a possibility of a tragedy beyond the tragedy itself, in that I tell you, Kaluva, if the Mkhulisi family's DNA results come back and say negative, as they say, all hell will break loose.
Because it will create doubt for the other families as well. Then the whole deal is questionable. Then everything else is questionable. So they might not be the only family that is in trouble. The whole thing was a tragedy. I don't think we've ever seen anything as horrible as what happened on that day. And it will also raise, people who have departed need to rest. The family needs to move on. And these families are being arrested by a situation that is beyond their control. And we need to treat this with the dignity it deserves. We need to treat it with the thoughtfulness it deserves.
Dademruti, now government said, here are your people. The Mkhulisi family is saying, we are not so sure if this is our person. You are Mfundis. What do you say to this family and to government?
To the family first, I'm saying that the family must fight for their own rights. And to government also. I'm saying we've got a constitution, and this constitution that we have protects the rights of citizens and the rights of individuals and the believed rights of each and every person. Government must ensure from their side that this whole matter is settled in a proper manner without necessarily having to suppress the family because there is something that is hidden, or there are suspicions that something is being hidden to the people.
Okay. Let me thank you for the time. Unfortunately, we've run out of time, but thanks for your contribution to the program. That was Question Time for today. A big thank you to you for watching the show and to our guests. We welcome your feedback via email on questiontime@sabc.co.za, our Twitter handle @questiontime24. From me and the crew, have yourself a wonderful time. Goodbye.